Hello. So I'm going to upload or starting to upload videos to this channel, and I'm going to show you the recording software that I have. And I am on Windows 7 right now, and there's a reason for that. And that's because I'm actually using Fraps for recording this desktop. And Fraps is actually using the Windows or the Aero desktop functionality in Windows 7, the DVM. And they actually, or Microsoft, removed this Aero desktop in Windows 8. So you can't really record the desktop with Fraps in Windows 8 and Windows 10. So that's why I'm right now at Windows 7. And what I've done is that you have to have this checked, that the monitor Aero desktop, if you want Fraps to be able to record the desktop. But as I said, that doesn't work in Windows 8. There's a trick around it that using sort of a second software like XSplit or whatever, but that's kind of a really annoying setup to do, and it takes up a lot of resources. So, but anyway, I actually record in 1080p and 60 frames per second when I record these desktop things. The other software I use is Dxtory or Dxtory, and there's a reason for that. Because Fraps is actually recording all the audio, both the microphone and the video game audio, into a single audio track. And I don't want that, because when I edit the movie or video, I want to be able to edit the microphone audio a little bit. And because Fraps is sort of putting everything in one box, when it comes to audio, I can't really do that without changing the game audio as well. So with the Dxtory, you can actually use different audio tracks, but there's sort of a trick. When you use like Premiere Pro, the Adobe Premiere Pro, to edit videos, it doesn't really recognize automatically the audio tracks in the video. So you need to extract sort of the audio before you do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a different video. So yeah, this is just the settings for the Dxtory. And right now I'm recording with Fraps, so it will collide a little bit, so I can't really start the game. The Dxtory won't recognize the game, because I think Fraps will sort of take over that stuff. But otherwise, when a game starts, it will show up a bunch of text here. You can see that what is loading and stuff, so that you know that the Dxtory is sort of capturing the video or the game. In the overlay tab, what I do here is that I uncheck the write file FPS. I don't need to know that. The only thing I want to know is the video FPS in the game and the record status. And I also change the color of the recording status color by clicking on the box here. And you can sort of just drag this sliders. I choose red, so this text will turn red when I'm recording. Also, you need a sort of a destination folder where the recordings are saved, and this is by default blank, so you need to add folder here by clicking this button, the plus folder, add folder here. And for example, I just take this one perhaps, and there you added it. And this software can actually record video to multiple hard drives at the same time. It's sort of splitting up the job. So if you have like slow hard drives, you can use multiple hard drives to record to, physical hard drives. But to do that, you need to set up all the folders, and you also need to benchmark each drive, and you do that by pressing this clock here and select the right size, the file size, and then you press run. And I already done this with this main drive here. Keyboard shortcuts. I removed the screenshot. I don't use screenshots, this kind of software. The only thing I removed that, and I changed also this start-stop recording button. I use insert for the most part because and that's sort of another part. Some recording software has a fixed hotkey for the recording, and that hotkey might actually collide with a hotkey inside the game. And I noticed that insert is not really used that much in games, so that's why I use that. For example, Minecraft, I use all the F keys, F1, F2. So that's why I change all of this. Then we come to the video tab, and I actually record in 2997 because that's sort of the default setting in Adobe Premiere Pro when I edit. But there's sort of a bug in this software that it doesn't remember this specific setting. It will automatically change it to 30 FPS when I restart the software. And there's a workaround. And I'm going to show you that later on, how to sort of change that so it will remember this setting. And of course I choose file output. You can actually show direct show output if you are going to stream to like Twitch or something. And you can actually both record to file and stream at the same time, but that will take up some CPU, So I would suggest that you either select the file output or direct show output. And actually choose AVI. And that's sort of another trick, another thing with Premiere Pro. It doesn't really recognize the audio tracks in this software, so I'm going to show you that later on in a separate video, how to sort of do that. What I do here is that I also include the mouse cursor so that you can see the mouse cursor in the game menus and stuff. And it looks kind of funny when people forget this, because you only see that usually in the games the buttons are highlighted, but you don't see the mouse cursor. So it is kind of funny when only the buttons are like highlighted. But don't forget this, include the mouse cursor. And also change the scaling from percent to size. So I use 1920 by 1080. And then we come to the audio settings here, and it's by default it's only one track, and that's the speakers. And what I do here is that I actually add a track by just pressing this plus sign. So the second track will be my microphone. So you just click here and select your microphone, which one you want to use. And you can also set the volume here. And this will be in two separate tracks in the video file. So I can, when I edit the video, I can sort of edit the game audio separately from the microphone and stuff like that. But that's another video. So yeah, screenshots, I don't use that at all. Then I got some settings here. Yeah, for CPU, don't need that. I don't change anything here either. Yeah, I do actually. It's processing threads. I have a quad core. It's a Q6600. Yeah, it's old. It's a quad core, so I can use, for example, all 4 cores for processing video. But I wouldn't recommend that because the game also needs some cores to work with. So I suggest you use half of the cores for this. If you have an 8 core or a quad core with hyperthreading, which means that you have 8 threads, I suggest that you can use 4 of them over here. Also, if you have like an multiple graphics card in a SLI configuration, it's a multi-GPU, so I suggest you actually enable this multi-GPU fix code if you have SLI. And yeah, that's kind of the thing I have here. And nothing here especially. And yeah. And now I'm going to show you actually the 2997 FPS trick. And what you have to do is that you, after you install, of course, the Dxtory, you go to percent app data percent to your roaming profile, and you actually go back one step to the app data here, and you go to local and Dxtory software, Dxtory 2, and profiles. So app data, local, Dxtory software, Dxtory 2, and profiles. And you got the default profile here. Just double click it and it will show up like this. It's a big mess, but what you're looking for is this line here, movie FPS. And the default one is actually, I think it was 30,000, but you change that to 2997, and you have to have the last 0 as well. And then you save this. And now it will automatically show up when you start the Dxtory. It will automatically be set to 2997. So that's the little trick. So yeah, that's the Dxtory software. So see you in the next video.